January 2nd, 2021, and I am splish splashing in the muddy, mucky path I'm walking on here to where I was at before in the last video with the little bushcraft and the fire reflector, all that. So I'm gonna go back and basically I'm gonna make a fort in the woods. I mean, you can call it a bushcraft shelter, all these other things, but it's a fort in the woods. And I'm very excited about it. It's beautiful today. It's in the 50s. It's supposed to be 36 overnight. And it may rain. It's been raining. It rained all day yesterday, so everything's wet. But, I don't know, I got steak, potato to cook up. I got some new gear I want to test out. Got a new backpack from Hidden Woodsman. Pretty awesome. And I got one of those Agua Canyon saws. So hopefully that makes faster work of the all that red cedar that's laying around that site than that little handsaw from Walmart. Alright, so I arrived in the general area where I stayed last time. And now I'm looking for a suitable fort location. Something with relatively flat, dry ground between two trees that are maybe 10 feet apart, less than 10 feet apart. So I haven't found one yet. You know, these trees are okay distance apart, but it's all uneven and lumpy and all that other stuff. I kind of want it in an opening, ideally, so I'm on the hunt. All right, well, I walked around for a little while longer and I found this spot. It's tucked away enough. There's lots of cedar around, lots of fallen trees. It's wet, so I think what I'll do is try and build a little bed. That's my current plan. We'll see if I adjust. So I'm gonna get some of this fallen stuff and try and cut some up and make a little bed. All right, so the plan is for my little fort here to be a lean-to. So this is going to be a cross beam that I'm going to suspend between these two trees and then just lean a bunch of stuff on it. Underneath, I'll make a little bed. Maybe, if there's time. Or I'll just grab... There's no pine I see around here. But there's a lot of cedar and just something to get up off the ground, just enough. I have a Gore-Tex bivvy, so I mean, realistically, I could just lay down in a puddle and it should be impervious to the elements here, but we'll see. I'm just getting all this pokey stuff off. Do it nice and low. Need a new hanging tree. Coach. Somewhere, one piece of paracord that I already cut. I don't know where, but I got a nice big old thing of paracord. So I'm gonna put it about, just under belt height. just need a piece long enough to wrap around the tree. I'm going to do a Canadian jam knot. Tie a little knot at the end. Tie another little knot at the end, but don't pull it tight. Then you pull the string to the little end, tighten it up. Start cinching it down. It helps to have something to wrap around. That's in there good. Tie this end up as well. That was dumb. Yeah, that was dumb. Same thing. Get closer too. Tie just a regular knot down at the bottom. Then you're going to tie another knot. You're going to wrap the end around. You're going to pull it through here, and then you just be yanked tight, and it tensions itself. Good. So there's my horizontal support, right? It's not super thick. It's not going to support a whole ton of weight. It doesn't need to. It just needs to get a bunch of sticks under it. So I'm going to gather a bunch of sticks now. Alrighty, so this saw, much better. It made very quick work of these few pieces. So this is like the rib work for a shelter. Now, I can keep on looking for pieces. It's not hard to find. I mean, there's stuff on the ground. The good thing about cedar is, although this is all wet and gross, inside it's nice and dry and pretty and purple and smells good when you cut it. So I mean, all this laying rotten wood is still good. It's all over there. So I'm probably going to get a couple more ribs, and then I'm going to try and find branches and start laying them horizontally. Alrighty, well, this is the beginning of the lean-to here. So I started building that other one, and it was just so wet. I wanted to find just a slightly drier spot. Everything's wet today. I'm in low ground. It's just gonna be wet. Got a lot of rain, but that was a puddle. So getting all the cedar was not difficult. Cutting up with the saw was not difficult, but I think my main post here is too low. I don't wanna have to crawl under, and it's sagging. So I think I'm gonna prop it up with a couple of logs. Maybe not in the center, because that'll be a pain to walk around it or slide in, but close to the outside here. So about, I don't know, below my pocket, I guess, below this, whatever this wad in my pocket, I think a flashlight. So I'm gonna get a kind of thick stump, about as high, maybe dig a slight little divot there and prop up this, you know, thin cedar strip, or get a larger one, but I think it should be a little bit higher just so I can actually sit under it. So that's my plan now. All right, so I literally found a stump. It was one that I had cut stuff off already, so the top's good. I want to try and wedge it under here. Now, the easy way to do this, the right way to do this, would be to take all these logs off, crank this up, retie it, put this underneath. I don't want to do that. I'm lazy, and typically those lazy things end up making projects a lot harder, but I'm going to do it this way anyways. Oh, come here. That's better. All right, so that's good. I think if I do the same thing on the other side, like right there, I should be in good shape. So let me go find another one. All right, so I got another one. Had a nice little fork in it. I pounded it in. Now this is nice and sturdy now. There's enough room to lay. I can't exactly sit up in it. That was an error. I built it a little low, but I can lay. It's not going to be rainproof. That's pretty cool though. I would need to put a lot more, you know, forest duff under it. So here's the thing now, everything's wet, like I was saying. I haven't gone through my gear, but I will. It's still sitting on, here's the other location where I first started. Gore-Tex bivvy in a wool blanket. The Gore-Tex bivvy should not leak. I should be able to lay it down right in that puddle and be fine. I haven't done it, nor do I really want to. So what I'm thinking is, although it may be uncomfortable, at least it'll be dry, which will mean it'll be warm. Cutting a bunch of like 20-inch logs of the same kind of diameter. If I can get them long, 6 feet, 6.5 feet long, that'd be great, but I've gone through and gotten most of the long stuff and cut it up into this. So maybe just short stuff. and just logs, boom, 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 going this way, and lay on top of that. It is 4 o'clock. So the firewood around here, it's going to be all cedar. I mean, like I was saying, this stuff has been laying on the forest floor, but it's dry. It's very dry. There you go. It's very dry, so I can just pick this up, split it, get a fire going, and I'm not that worried about it. I'll have it going right here, cook my steak, sit around. But I do need to work on some sort of bed. It has to be very low. So I'm gonna see what logs I can find. I grabbed a bunch of logs. Got them all under there. Now, is it flat? Nope. Is it gonna be uncomfortable? You bet. But is it gonna be drier than laying on the ground? Yep. So I'm gonna test it out, see how it is, then make a fire, and then eat the steak. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. So if it looks like the camera's moving, it's because it's suspended from a vine. Also, there may be gunshots in the background. It's way over there. I think I'm fine. I don't expect any ricochets. Yeah, it is just as comfortable as it looks. But it is dry. So it's got that going for it. And yeah, I can't sit up. Can I sit here? No. I can squat. Hunched over like an animal. So let's see, as far as shelters go, it won't keep me dry. It's not comfortable. Well, technically my gear is going to keep me dry. But it's not going to keep rain off like this. If I piled a bunch of sticks and leaves, like a bunch, like it'd be great if there were pine trees. I could use pine boughs or spruce boughs. All we have here is cedar, and that's it. So it would just take a lot of sticks. I can't sit up and do anything, but it should reflect some heat from the fire. It should keep me warm, and maybe I'd find a way to get comfortable. So let's start a fire, at least cook some steak. At least do that. Not sure if I'm in frame at all or you're just getting my crotch, but I got a little bed set up and I got this fire stick and weatherproof fire starting tinder. So I'm gonna give this a try. Basically fat rope. I don't know if I should break a piece off. Let me do that. All right. So most of the stuff I found is wet. So I'm gonna see if we can, I don't know if you gotta fluff this stuff up or if it just takes a sparks and goes, but it says highly flammable. I don't know about highly. Let's see. Let's unwrap this stuff here. So I've never used it. I've never looked at how to use it. I don't know if you're supposed to take a lighter and light the whole thing. Starting to see some flame there. All right. Hey, we're talking. All right. Gonna hear a lot of snap, crackle, and pop because everything is wet. But I have made fire. That was easy. This stuff, fire starter. Whoa. Fire. Yeah. Fire starter. It works. Fluff it up a little bit, takes a spark. Boom. That was cool. Thanks, Mom. Alright, so I'm gonna let this fire get going a little bit. Gonna buck up some of this wood. I got this. This is not cedar. I don't know what it is, but I know it's not cedar. And then I'm gonna cut up a bunch of cedar. Make a nice little pile, and then cook some food. I'm starting to get hungry. It's like 4:30, so by the time I get enough wood and get some coals, it'll be, you know, after 5 o'clock. Starting to get dark. I'm all set up. I got a fire. I got a little bit of firewood, although I just need to cut a bunch more. But I just don't feel like staying out here tonight. So I think I got it in a good place, right? This is what I'm at, where I'm at right now. I got the shelter. It looks pretty good. I got some firewood. I think I'm just gonna stash this firewood in the shelter. And man, that was cool. And then call it a day. Head home. I still got enough light to hike out. Although last time I was here, I didn't end up staying. I ended up hiking out in the dark. And I don't really feel like hiking out in the dark. I know that once it starts getting dark, I'm gonna start getting bored. I meant to bring my book. I forgot it. So I'd rather just be at home with the family. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back out here another night and actually stay. I think I'll build a firewall. You know, just kind of add on to this. I'll leave this because this is tucked back. That was the thing about the last place. It wasn't tucked back enough. This I don't mind leaving here. I'll build a fire reflector next time, and somehow maybe lift that up a bit. You know, get some logs to lift this back end. I think that might make it a little bit more comfortable. So I think this is something that I can keep on working on. There's some water right here, this creek. I'm gonna splash the fire out, stack all this firewood up under there, pack up my bag and hike out with a little bit of daylight that I got. Because doing it at night, which I know I'm just gonna end up leaving, so I might as well leave one when there's daylight because it's so wet, I'm just gonna get soaked, which I'm already pretty wet. But a good afternoon out in the woods today. I'll just cook my supper at home with the missus. Eating some lamb chop, potato. It'll be good. Stack the wood up under the fort. Poured water on all this, and it's all wet logs in the mud. So I'm gonna mash it all up. And hike on out of here. Whew. Must have come out of my pocket. So it's darker on my phone than it actually is. I can see good, and I got this nice, super bright new headlamp because the last one was too dark. So I'm gonna hike on out of here.